Good morning, students. I hope all of you are well and healthy. So let's begin today's lesson. So what you do, first open your social studies student book. Here, social studies student books, and open the page number 119. So what we are going to do, we are going to start learning about chapter 5, Journey into the Past Ancient Greece, and the lesson number is 7, that is Alexander the Great. So I hope you have opened the chapter. Okay, so what in our last class we read about, in lesson 6 we read about the Peloponnesian War, remember? Okay, so now I'm going to start reading from page 119. So that is Alexander the Great. The lesson name is the Alexander the Great, but here we will learn about the King Philip, and King Philip was the father of Alexander. Okay, so after the Peloponnesian War was over, all the cities of Greece were dilapidated. Okay, here you see a new word, that is dilapidated and poor. Dilapidated and poor. So what is the meaning of dilapidated? It's mean the buildings, they were in bad condition because of their old age and because of the neglect of repair. So these type of buildings or the cities, they are called dilapidated. Here you will see two things. The cities of Greece, they were dilapidated and poor. But to the north of the Greece, in a country called Macedonia, King Philip took notice that the Greeks were very weak. So there was a king, his name was Philip, and he used to live in the country called Macedonia. So when he saw the condition of the cities of the Greek, he attacked the Greek city-states, and one by one he overpowered them and brought them under his reign. So when he saw their condition, so he attacked on each Greek city-state one by one, and then he overpowered them, like he brought his royalty over there. Okay, next is about Alexander the Great. So we are still on page 119, and the next paragraph is about Alexander the Great. So when King Philip was assassinated, what is the meaning of assassinated? It's mean when he was murdered or he was killed. In 336 BC, his son Alexander became the king. So after the death of Philip, his son Alexander, he became the king. And it was 336 BC. His son Alexander became the king, and thereafter he ruled Greece. So now who started ruling over the Greece? Alexander. So a lot of people thought he was too young. However, he not only held on to Greece, but he also took a large army comprised of Greeks and Macedonians and attacked the Persian Empire. So not only Greece he had ruled over, rather even he was very young, and people thought that he was young, but he took a large army and he attacked the Persian Empire. Okay, so Alexander was a great general, and the Persians were weak at that time. So Alexander overtook the Persian Empire, started with Turkey, then Phoenicians, and then Egypt, then farther east to Iraq, Iran, and India. Okay, so he was too young, but he was a great general. And here, if you see on a slide, I collected little knowledge about Alexander from internet. Like most children in Athens, Alexander was tutored as a child and learned mathematics, reading and writing. So here you will come to know a little bit about Alexander. He also would have been instructed on how to fight, ride a horse and hunt. When Alexander turned 13, his father Philip wanted the best teacher possible for him, so he hired the great philosopher Aristotle. So this is a little information about Alexander, as we read that he was a great general, and at such a young age he extended his empire. So you should know about Alexander. Okay, so now I'm going to move on page 120, 120. So what happened in India? Alexander troops refused to go any further, and so he turned back, and a lot of soldiers died on the way back. And soon after, in 323 BC, Alexander himself died of a fever. Here you see Alexander died of a fever in Babylon at the age of 33. So what happened? he died at the age of 33. And how he died? He died of a fever. So Alexander, now what happened after the death of Alexander? Okay, so Alexander died without any sons old enough to rule. So his kingdom was split up into 3 parts among his journals. It's written on 120 page. Okay, so here I made, after the death of Alexander, his kingdom was split up into 3 parts among his generals. Okay, so number 1 is, now here I put the name of the journals. Here you see the number 1 journal, like here it's Ptolemy. Okay, we will not, P is silent, so it's Ptolemy. And then we have here Seleucus. Okay, and if you are confused about their pronunciation, you can check it on Google as well. If you type this name and you write pronounce, you can check the pronunciation again, so it will be very helpful for you. So it's here, the number 1 journal name was Ptolemy, and then we have Seleucus, and at the end we have here okay, Antigonus. Okay, Antigonus 1. So these were the 3 journals, and the kingdom was split up into 3 parts among his journals. So at that time Egypt was ruled by a man named here, the first journal here, okay, so Egypt was ruled by a man named Ptolemy. Then we have Cilicia, which was comprised of the land between Babylonia as far as India, was ruled by a man named Seleucus. Here, Seleucus. So Egypt was ruled by Ptolemy, and the land between the Babylonia as far as India, it was ruled by the journal named Seleucus. Okay, and then the last journal is here, I'm reading from page 120, that is Antigonus, which was comprised of Turkey, the Middle East, Macedonia, Greece. It was ruled by a man named Antigonus. Okay, so which parts? Turkey, Middle East, Macedonia, Greece. These all parts were ruled by the journal named Antigonus. So the 3 kingdoms often fought each other. Okay, then we are going to learn about Hellenistic period. Okay, then we are going to learn about the Hellenistic period. The Hellenistic period was one of the prosperity and learning, and a great university was founded at Alexandria in Egypt. The philosopher Aristotle worked in Athens. Okay, we are reading page 121. Okay, 121. So scientists and philosophers, all men, visited back and forth between India and Greece, and the combination of knowledge of West Asia and India with that of Greeks led to the great achievements in science, philosophy, and art. So it's on page 121. You will learn, we have just learned about Hellenistic period, that it was a period of prosperity and learning, and great universities was founded, and they also there was philosophers and scientists. So all you will find it here. Now the next thing what happened, that the Roman Empire, now we are going to learn about the Roman Empire. The Roman army conquered and destroyed the city of Corinth in 146 BC. Within about 100 years, Rome conquered the remaining Hellenistic kingdoms. So now the Hellenistic kingdoms were ruled by the Romans, and Rome conquered the remaining Hellenistic kingdoms and their Greek cities. Egypt was under the rule of Queen Cleopatra, was the last to fall in 31 BC. So we have finished 121 up till 121. So now what you are going to do, you have to read this chapter again, and then you will open your workbooks, and all the question answers and fill in the blanks related to this chapter you will find on page 90, 92, 93. So what you have to do is, your task for today, read the lesson and attempt all the exercises from page 90 to 93, and take good care of yourself. And meantime, I will prepare the next lesson. So take care. Goodbye.